It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got the battle of the two big cities in Spain. One being Barcelona, one being Madrid. Or do we? Estrella Damm, Barcelona, 4.6% ABV, brewed in Barcelona at the Estrella Damm brewery. 660 millilitre bottle. Interestingly, £2.20. Now I'm finding this really interesting because this looks very much like it's got Madrid on the front of the bottle. Madri. It's only been around for about 12 months. 12 months of the year. It's a brand that they built from the floor up, and that is Molson Coors Brewing Company. But as much as you would like to think that this is a beer that's been produced in Madrid, it's a fantastic Spanish beer. No, actually, it's been brewed and packed in the UK. So this is a UK beer made to look like something from Madrid. There's the bottle cap. So whereas the Estrella Damm was £2.20 a bottle, coming all the way from Barcelona, this beer brewed in the UK, coming down the road really, isn't it? Compared to Barcelona, £2.45 for a 660 millilitre bottle. So this is 25 pence more than the actual real beer from, or a beer that's come from Barcelona. So without further ado then, we're going to start off with the Estrella Damm. We're going to get it out into a glass and see what we get. There's the bottle cap. I do like the bottles with the Estrella Damm. It's a very kind of neat, very narrow neck on the bottle. A little bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Using my German kind of Pilsner lager-like glasses. So the Hofmeister glass has the Estrella Damm. And the Estrella Damm is looking mighty fine. Good levels of carbonation rolling down the glass. We've got a 2-finger white head. It's straw coloured, it's clear. Lovely looking light lager. Very inviting looking. Let's get the Madri open then. I mean, this should be better, right? It's brewed in the UK and it costs 25 pence more a bottle. A little bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Now, originally, when this beer came out a year ago, I reviewed it and I took a little bit of criticism because I actually liked it. I actually thought this beer was okay. But the comments in the comments box were very much along the lines of, I found it very bland, how have you liked it? Those sort of comments. There were a few people who thought this was a decent beer. But I thought it was a decently brewed beer at the time. Let's see what it's like 1 year later. 2-finger white head. Nice levels of carbonation. It looks like they've used a slightly darker malt here to produce this one. Slightly darker in colour compared to the Estrella. Although, actually, looking at it, well, there's not that much in it. The Estrella is definitely lighter. Right, aroma on the Estrella Damm. I've actually been to the old brewery in Barcelona. If you ever go to Barcelona, please visit the old Estrella Damm brewery. They put a little microbrewery in there. There's a big restaurant there now you can eat at. and the brewery tour is simply fantastic. You get to go down into the cellars. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place. Right, Aroma on the Estrella. Very clean, very lager-like. A little bit of lemon, a little bit of kind of stinging nettle. Peppery spiciness coming through. Light, crisp malts. Yeah, it smells very inviting. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. It's not bad, that. It more or less follows the aroma of the beer very closely to the taste. It's crisp, it's refreshing, there's some stinging nettle flavours in there, it's spicy, it's kind of like black pepper spices coming through, nice and bitter on the back end, very inviting, very drinkable. You get the light crisp malts coming through. Not a bad beer, not a bad beer. Middle of summer. We had a lot of rain last night, but it is muggy, really, really muggy out there. It's great to drink these cold lagers. I'm really enjoying this series of videos, actually. It's nice to drink some cold, light lager in this kind of humidity. Right. Madri. Madri. Aroma. Yeah, it's slightly different. There's always a slight earthiness from UK brewed lagers, and that's something I've picked up since I started doing the UK Stella Artois versus the Belgian brewed Stella Artois, UK brewed Kronenbourg versus the French Kronenbourg. I always find it now a little bit kind of musty, a little bit earthy. And a lot of people who comment in the comments box are saying it's definitely the water. It's the quality of British water that is making that kind of slight earthiness, slight kind of mustiness. It's not massive, but it's definitely there. It's like it's slightly getting in the way of the hop aroma and kind of like the biscuity or the light malts that they want you to have. But it's hoppy. It's hoppy, it's slightly lemony. Let's dive into this one then. Cheers, everybody. Oh. That mustiness is there. That kind of slightly earthy mustiness is definitely there. But there was a surprising level of, compared to the Estrella Damm, the hops come through slightly more, only slightly, but slightly more fruity. I definitely felt the hops, the flavour of the hops was a little bit more prominent in the Madri. It's a little bit more floral, if you like, flowery. Not by a great imagination, not by an awful lot. It's just ever so slightly. But then that gets offset by that kind of, that British brewed lager kind of slight mustiness. But I can tell they've worked really hard. They've worked really hard, have Molson Coors. Definitely was it double check Molson Coors? Yes, Molson Coors. They've worked really hard, Molson Coors, to eliminate that kind of British mustiness, British kind of slightly earthiness that comes from these lagers. Which comes from the water, of course. A little bit more of a prominent malt flavour coming through as well. That slightly darker malt flavour is definitely coming through in the taste. This is going to be close. This is going to be really, really close. I was more malt flavour coming from the Madri. I was kind of half expecting the Estrella Damm. If I was to have a guess as to which one would have won before I opened the bottle, I probably would have pointed in the direction of the Estrella. But actually, tasting the two beers, I know this is just a subjective thing, right? Some people are going to like the Estrella Damm more, some people are going to like the Madri more. But being subjective, being honest, I actually... Let me have one more taste of the Estrella, just to make sure. The only thing I think where the Estrella wins is how clean it is. It's cleaner. It doesn't have that slight mustiness. It doesn't have that slight earthiness. It's cleaner. But the Madri is definitely a little bit more malty and a little bit more hoppy. And I think for that reason, the Madri wins on this occasion. I really wasn't expecting that. I was expecting the Estrella Damm to have won this. But actually the Madri... I'm going to go with what I said last year. I know it might upset some people because I liked Madri last year. I still like Madri now. There's no point in being dishonest, is there? You, as a beer reviewer, as somebody who does this on a daily basis, you have to be honest to yourself, because the moment I start, you know, kind of leaning towards Estrella Damm just because it was brewed in his native country of Barcelona would be a wrong thing to do, even though the Madri has you thinking that it's from Madrid, even though there's a slight kind of, maybe a slight bit of deception there. I can live with that. I can live with that because the beer tastes okay. Tastes okay. So for me, rating the Estrella, got a good head after talking with the beer open for the best part of 13-14 minutes. Great head retention, great look to the beer. Nice clean, very clean taste to it. Less hoppy, less malty. I would say 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for the Estrella Damm. Madri, great head retention, great carbonation, great look to the beer. Again, after 13-14 minutes of it sat on the counter. Yeah. I prefer the Madri. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. I found this review rather interesting to film myself. Quite an interesting battle there. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've done this thing with the two beers. Madri being more expensive by 25 pence. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.